I heard a story one time from a friend about a remote village. It wasn't necessarily remote on a map, but not many people went there, and nobody stayed. They were introverted. If you could call an entire village introverted, at least compared to the rest of the world. And everybody worked, everybody took care of one another, everybody's needs were met, nobody went without. When there was struggle in the village, everybody rallied around each other and they took care of whatever the issue was. When somebody succeeded, when there was joy, the entire village was happy. The entire village celebrated. There was peace, there was love, there was harmony, it was safe. And one day some, I guess you'd call them tourists, made their way to this village on their journey. And they stopped seeking food and water along their way. And they ran into, I guess, what you would call the village tour guide. And this guide was telling them about this place, what made it so unique, that everybody contributed, that there was empathy, there was love, there was connection, that anytime there was any form of pain or suffering, it didn't last long. It was dealt with, it was healed, it was fixed. That these villagers had been there for generations, that they knew each other. And the tourists noticed very quickly that as each of these villagers was moving around this place, following them were spirits. Some of them good and some of them bad. And they asked the tour guide about these spirits, and maybe in the guide's wisdom, the response was cryptic. It was careful and cautious. Again, some of those spirits were good. They were the good things about those villagers. And those bad ones, at least as it appeared, were some of the things from their past. As the tourists were about to move on and continue their journey, off in the distance they saw an older man coming down a hill, walking barefoot, seeming to make his way to the center of the town. And one of the tourists asked the guide about him, noticing that he had more of these spirits than anyone else did, and the majority of them looking bad, more like demons. And the tourist said, he must be an undesirable. He must be unwanted. Not only does he live on the outskirts of town, but he has all of those bad spirits following him. He must be wicked. He must have done something terrible. There was much judgment and assumption, and there was even pride from that tourist. And the guide thought for a moment and responded calmly, actually, that's one of our village elders. He's been here the longest. He's the oldest. He's been through the most. He's wiser, more patient, more loving. Those spirits that you see following him, yes, most of them are bad. Most of them are scary. But you're wrong in your assumption that that reflects who he is. In this village, those bad spirits following us around are not who we were or what we did. Those spirits are trying to overthrow the good. They're trying to outnumber and overrule the good that each of us brings to this place, the love that each of us shares with one another. And because he is of the best, because of all of the good that he does. Those bad spirits have to work harder. More of them are needed to try to derail all of the good that he does, all of the good that he brings, all of the hope that he shares with the rest of us. Probably embarrassed, the tourist apologized and acknowledged the assumption that was made based on appearance, based on this number of bad spirits that this man was carrying with him or that was following behind him. And in our day, something we might call baggage, something we might call somebody's drama, maybe even their sins. We judge them, we assume, we think we know exactly who they are. And the truth being, within each of us is goodness, is so much love, so many strengths. And if we could stop judging others based on where they've been, based on mistakes that are made, based on whatever that baggage is, I think we get a lot of our needs met better, healthier, more consistently. I think we'd feel more connected. I think there would be a whole lot less hate if we noticed the struggle in others with compassion and empathy, with curiosity as to how I can help, how I can support, how I can walk this path with you, rather than assuming somebody's wickedness, somebody's sins, somebody's weakness.